The Lotus Sutra, Chapter 5, Herbs. Thereupon, the Bhagavat addressed Mahakasyapa and other great disciples, saying, quote, Splendid, splendid, O Kasyapa! You have skillfully explained the real merit of the Tathagata. It is exactly as you have said. The Tathagata has immeasurable, unlimited, and incalculable merits. Thus, even in a period of immeasurable kotis of kalpas, you will never fully be able to explain all of his merits. O Kasyapa, you should know that the Tathagata is the king of all the teaching. What he teaches is never false. He explains all the teaching using his wisdom and skillful means, and what he teaches leads everyone to the stage of omniscience. The Tathagata perceives the goal of all teachings and knows the underlying mental disposition of all sentient beings, perceiving all with no obstructions. He completely understands all teachings and displays omniscience to all sentient beings. O Kasyapa, suppose in the great manifold cosmos there are mountains, rivers, valleys, and plains, where many kinds of grasses, trees, shrubs, and herbs of different names and colors grow. Dense clouds thoroughly cover this great manifold cosmos, and rain falls at the same time everywhere, moistening the small, medium, and large roots, stems, branches, and leaves of all the grasses, trees, shrubs, and herbs. The sizes of all the trees depends on whether their capacities are superior, mediocre, or inferior, and the rain falling from the same cloud makes them grow according to the nature of their various seeds. Flowers blossom in the same place, and fruit ripens in the same place, moistened by the same rain, yet there are differences among these grasses and trees. O Kasyapa, you should know that the Tathagata is exactly like this. He appears in this world like a great, overspreading cloud. His great voice resounds over the devas, humans, and asuras in the world, just as the great cloud thoroughly covers the great manifold cosmos. He declares to the assembly, quote, I am the Tathagata, Arhat, completely enlightened, perfect in knowledge and conduct, well departed, knower of the world, unsurpassed, tamer of humans, teacher of devas and humans, Buddha, Bhagavat. I set free those who have not been freed. I enlighten those who have not been enlightened, and bring calm to those who have not been calmed. I cause those to obtain nirvana who have not yet obtained it. I am the one who knows the present and future worlds exactly as they are. I am the all-knower, the all-seer, the knower of the path, the one who discloses the path and explains it. All of you devas, humans, and asuras, come and listen to my teachings. At that time, innumerable thousands of myriads of kotis of sentient beings approached the Buddha and listened to his teaching. Then the Tathagata, perceiving the faculties of sentient beings, whether they are sharp or dull, diligent or idle, explains the teachings according to their capacities in a variety of immeasurable ways, gladdening and benefiting them all. Having heard his teaching, all of these beings are at peace in this world and are born into a good existence in the future. Through this, they will receive peace of mind and be able to hear the teaching. Having already heard the teaching, they will become free from obstructions and be able to gradually enter the path to the Dharma according to their capacities. Just like the great cloud that rains upon all the grasses, trees, shrubs, and herbs, whose seeds are watered and which grow according to their capacities, The Tathagata teaches the Dharma of one aspect and character, that is to say, the character of liberation, dispassion, and cessation, which ultimately leads to omniscience. Those sentient beings who hear, hold, and recite the teachings of the Tathagata and practice it accordingly will, nevertheless, not perceive the merit that they have obtained. Why is this? Only the Tathagata knows the seed, character, disposition, and capacity of sentient beings. Only he knows what they contemplate, think, and practice, how they contemplate, think, and practice, what teachings they contemplate, think, and practice, and what teaching they obtain through what teaching. Only the Tathagata exactly perceives and knows without obstructions the various states in which sentient beings reside. It is just like the grasses, trees, shrubs, and herbs that do not know their own natures, whether they are superior, mediocre, or inferior. Yet the Tathagata knows the teachings of one aspect and character, the character of liberation, dispassion, cessation, complete nirvana, and eternal tranquility, which ultimately leads to emptiness. The Buddha knows this and perceives the aspirations of sentient beings. For this reason, in order to protect them, he does not immediately teach omniscience. O Kasyapa, it is a rare thing that all of you know that the Tathagata teaches according to your capacities, and that you believe and accept it. Why is this? Because the Dharma taught by all the Buddha Bhagavats, according to what is appropriate to sentient beings, is difficult to understand and difficult to know. Thereupon, the Bhagavat, wanting to elaborate on the meaning of this further, spoke these verses. The king of the Dharma, the destroyer of delusive existence, appears in the world and, keeping in mind the aspirations of sentient beings, teaches the Dharma in various ways according to the wishes of sentient beings. The Tathagata is greatly distinguished, and his wisdom is profound. He has been silent for a long time, and intentionally has not taught the essential in haste. Those who are wise will be well convinced when they hear it. Those who are not wise will have doubts and remain confused for a long time. That is why, O Kasyapa, the Tathagata teaches according to the capacities of sentient beings and enables them to attain the correct perspective by using various illustrations. O Kasyapa, you should know that it is as if a great cloud arises in the world and covers everything. This beneficent cloud contains moisture, and bright lightning flashes from it. The sound of its thunder shakes the earth afar and gladdens the people. It conceals the sun and cools the earth. The spreading cloud hangs so low as if it could be touched. Everywhere, equal and immeasurable, the rain pours down and moistens the earth. Grasses, herbs, large and small trees, all kinds of crops, seedlings, sugar cane and grapes, growing in the depth of the mountains, in rivers, and in precipitous valleys, are all watered and completely nourished by the rain. The dry earth is moistened everywhere, and the herbs and trees grow up thickly. Out of this cloud, the same rain waters these grasses, trees, and shrubs, each according to their capacities. All the trees, small, medium, or large, are able to grow in accordance with their capacities. The luster and colors of the roots, stems, branches, leaves, and flowers are all freshened by the same rain. Each of these, although receiving the same moisture, reaches a greater or lesser size in accordance with their different dispositions, characteristics, and natures. The Buddha is exactly like this. He appears in the world as a great cloud which covers everything universally. Once appearing in this world, he illuminates and explains the essence of the teachings for the sake of beings. The Great Seer, the Bhagavat, expounds this to the assembly of all the devas and humans. I am the Tathāgata, the best of humans. I appear in the world to nourish sentient beings, just as the great cloud moistens all the withered trees. I cause everyone to be rid of suffering and attain ease of heart, worldly happiness, and the joy of nirvana. So, devas and humans, listen carefully. Come, all of you, and look at the highest one. I am the Bhagavat. No one is equal to me. I appear in this world to bring peace of mind to sentient beings and to teach the Dharma of immortality to the great assembly. This Dharma has a single flavor of liberation and nirvana. I expound its meaning with the same subtle voice, always making the Mahayana the subject of my illustrations. I see everywhere and regard all as equal. I have no feelings of like or dislike. For me there is no this or that, nor do I have either love or hate. I have no attachments and make no distinctions, and so always teach the Dharma equally to all, and teach the same thing to one person as I teach to everyone else. I always teach the Dharma and nothing else. Going or coming, sitting or standing, I never tire of satisfying the world, just like the rain that gives nourishment universally. I tirelessly pour down the rain of the Dharma equally on those who are noble or humble, superior or inferior, who keep or break the precepts, who have good or bad conduct, right or wrong views, sharp or dull faculties. According to their power to understand, all sentient beings who hear my teaching dwell in various stages. Those living among humans, devas, noble emperors, Sakra and Brahma kings are like the small herbs. Those who know the incorruptible Dharma, who are able to attain nirvana, have the 6 transcendent powers and have attained the 3 sciences. Those who live alone in mountain forests, always practicing meditation, and who attain the enlightenment of the Pratyeka Buddhas are like the medium-sized herbs. Those who seek the stage of the Bhagavat, thinking that they will become Buddhas, and practice persistence and meditation are like the large herbs. The heirs of the Buddhas, who concentrate on the path of the Buddha, who always cultivate compassion within themselves and know definitely without a doubt that they will become Buddhas, are like the small trees. Those who are comfortable with transcendent powers, who turn the irreversible wheel of the Dharma and save innumerable hundreds of thousands of kotis of sentient beings, are the bodhisattvas, who are like the large trees. The Buddha's equal teaching is like the rain of one flavor. The sentient beings accept it according to their different capacities, just as the grasses and trees each differently absorb the rain. The Buddha reveals the single teaching with illustrations using skillful means, and explains it with various explanations, and yet it is just a drop in the ocean compared to the Buddha's wisdom. I pour down the rain of the Dharma, fulfilling the world, and the sentient beings practice the Dharma of one flavor according to their capacities, just as the shrubs, herbs, and trees flourish in accordance with their capacities, reaching either a greater or lesser size. The teaching of the Buddhas is always of one flavor and fulfills the entire world. Anyone who practices it, little by little, obtains the fruit of the path. The Sravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, living in mountain forests, who, in their last bodies, hear the Dharma and attain its fruit, are just like the flourishing herbs. The bodhisattvas, who are firm in wisdom, who completely understand the triple world and seek the highest vehicle, are just like the flourishing small trees. Those who abide in meditation, attain transcendent powers, listen to the teaching regarding the emptiness of every existence with great joy, and save sentient beings by emitting innumerable rays of light, are just like the flourishing large trees. In this way, O Kasyapa, the Dharma that the Buddha teaches is just like the great cloud that enriches human flowers with the rain of one flavor, so that each attains its fruits. O Kasyapa, you should know that I reveal the Buddha path using various explanations and illustrations, and that this is my skillful means. All of the Buddhas are just like this. I will now teach the highest truth for your sake. Quote, there are no Sravakas who attain nirvana. What you practice is the bodhisattva path, and if you practice step by step, you will all become Buddhas.